Okay guys, we're in the Liquid Lounge now, getting ready for the Q&A.
Sorry I'm late. I was raising money for the children. I can tell you right now, between Texas and Ohio, Ohio was winning, but Texas came in the crunch for the last $1,000 donation. So we're well over $5,000 today alone for Bruce. Thank you. So thank y'all. Woo! Y'all so competitive around here, especially Ohio and Texas. I'll tell you, y'all mean business. I love it. Listen, folks, welcome to Cookies, Q&Awesome. This is your opportunity to ask me any question you want to know about my life, ship life, and more. Feel free. I'm an open book if I have the correct answer. Now, I will tell you, we do stay away from the finance question. So we don't talk about finances, but I will tell you now, I make enough money now to where I can stop shopping at Walmart and I can start shopping at Target. So I'm doing good. Target. All right. Who's the first brave soul? Anybody? Somebody? Ooh, right here in the front. I saw you. Hello, love. What's your name? Where you from? What's your question? Debbie, originally from Ohio, but now in Florida. What's your question? Yes, ma'am. I'm from Montgomery. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, we're a house divided. All the grandchildren went to University of Alabama. All the parents either went to Auburn or AUM in Montgomery, but I am a Roll Tide fan. So I'm a Tide fan. Yes. Yeah, we are a Tide fan. But I tell you, I didn't go there because I was a troubled child, so I had to stay at home. But all of my cousins, everybody went there. So yeah, you can only imagine what our house is like Thanksgiving week and everything else. So it's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. Over here, hello, love. What's your name? Where you from? What's your question? That's you. What's your arm up?
My name is
Gabby.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
From New York? Okay, welcome. What's your question?
What were your roles before cruise director?
What were my goals or roles?
Rolls.
Like, what did I do on ships? I came in originally as Fun Squad. I tell you, I started Fun Squad in 2014. I have 2 more years before I can retire. Carnival had this amazing retirement program at 10 years, so yeah. Hold on, child. These knees, I don't know how many more wobbles I got in these knees, girl. I tell you, I don't know what it is. I don't know why when I get to these parties, I be having so much energy. But by the time I walk back to my room, my back be hurt, my neck be out, my eyeball be in my hand. I'll tell you a funny story though. I actually took this job to be one of the singers and dancers. I had just missed the audition to be one of the performers. So I said, I'll go in as Fun Squad, because I was a little heavier then than now. But I took that first contract, I lost a bunch of weight, and I went to the audition in Atlanta, and I made the cast of Playlist. Unfortunately, I thought I would celebrate by eating all summer long, so I gained that weight right on back. So this goes on for like 3 or 4 years. But then they finally said, you know what, Cookie, you keep saying you're gonna lose weight, we'll take you at any size as cruise director. So they gave me a 3-day cruise on the Imagination, and I had some of the highest numbers they had ever seen from a first-time cruise director on the Imagination. Yeah. It's crazy because in life, we always have a plan about what we want to do, but at the end of the day, he has the final say. I wanted to be with 7 other performers, but he wanted me to stand alone in my ministry, so therefore I take it and I ain't gonna argue with it. So. It was my sister. I have a sister who works for Disney Cruise Line. She's Princess Tiana, and when she's not Princess Tiana, she has to dress up like Goofy. I love it. It was her who introduced me to the industry, so my first cruise was 28 years young, and I was a little wee cookie dough, and here I am now. Up top, what's your name? Where you from? What's your question? Come here to here. Okay, Marilyn, what's your question? How often do I get a chance to? Vacation? Oh, good question. I got here in September. I leave here January 21st. I go to the Carnival Magic for a week till the 28th. I have a heavy metal cruise, and then I go on vacation from the 28th till March 26th, and then I come back here from March 26th to July 30th. And then I'll go, yeah. So it's only this long because we don't have as many cruise directors as we used to do. The pandemic forced a lot of people out of the business. So until we get our full roster of cruise directors, those who are veterans have to stay longer. Wow, it's crazy. I'm calling myself a veteran. I used to look up to Matt and Jamie and Everson, and I used to think they were old. And now here I am. So yeah, I just have to stay a little bit longer. About 2023, 2024, once we get all our ships rolled out, we should have a full roster of cruise directors. But 85% of our cruise directors now are brand new. It's only myself, Donkey, Kendall, Lee, and Chris is Donkey. Oh, Chris is Franciscan, you're right. We're the only 5 classified for the XL class ships, so they will keep us in rotation a little bit longer than everybody else. But I don't mind, it's for y'all. I don't mind it all. So. Hey love, what's your name, where you from, what's your question? Rohanna from Brooklyn, New York. I found your cousin. What's your cousin? Okay, what's your question? What's your question? Say it again. Yeah. Yo, I'm about to fall out right now as we speak. No, you know, a lot of us started, I'll be honest with you, while we're on vacation, we still hustle and bustle. I tell you, I was blessed to do a couple of commercials, and then this is what got me in the business. We used to have this show called Lip Sync Battle here on board. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, we lost the rights to that. But in that, Carnival gave me an opportunity to film a commercial for MTV for this Lip Sync Battle on board. I had one line in the whole commercial, and they never showed it. But they still sent me a paycheck, and for saying absolutely nothing, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to be in film and television. So my goal is to, I'm trying to decide if I just moved out of Houston, Texas. So now I'm trying to decide, do I want to move to Los Angeles or to Atlanta? I still have a place up in Jersey as well. So I'm in Jersey quite often as well. But I just want to be in the film and television industry. Thank you. You know what? My goal was Broadway. Thank you, ma'am. But I did this high kick 2 days ago and my leg still hurt. So yeah, I've been trying to tell y'all, you think I'm young, but baby, it's funny because a lot of the people like Matt Mitchell, they came in the industry at 18 years old. So he was able to retire when he was 28. I came in at 28, so I'm trying to make it at 38. By that time, I'm gonna be in somebody's nursing home. Listen, but yeah, I definitely want to be in the film and television industry. Through the Tom Joyner cruise alone, which is really crazy. I left the Carnival Breeze to come to Miami to the Carnival Freedom. And they said, Cookie, when you get to this cruise, you will not be the star of the cruise because you're amongst all these celebrities. Excuse me. You're just there to make announcements. I was like, all right, well, cool, whatever. I kid you not. I made an announcement. And this woman came to me and said, hey, you cut my daughter off in the middle of her sound check. I said, huh? She said, you cut my daughter off while she was sound checking for the show tonight. I said, girl, who was your daughter? She said, Alicia Keys. I said, oh, Lord. So I ended up cutting Alicia Keys off because Alicia Keys and Usher did a concert on the same night. So I got on the PA system. I was like, hey, y'all. Tonight, make sure you get to the Usher concert. They call her U.S.H.E.R. I'm just doing all this stuff on the PA now. I was like, Alicia Keys come right down. I'm like doing all of this. Alicia's on the leader like, who the hell is this man? I kid you not, they told me Cookie would not be the celebrity of that cruise. Every celebrity on that cruise was looking for me to take pictures with me just based off my announcement. So that's also giving me another opportunity to work radio for Tom Joyner. He's had to do a couple of slots in Atlanta. So I am truly blessed. I have a very blessed life thanks to Carnival as well. They've connected the dots, some of the dots to where I'm heading in life. So it's kind of, thank you so much for that. I love it. Hey love, what's your name, where you from? What's your question? I'm coming down here next. Carla from who? Ohio. What's your question? Let me tell you something. Believe it or not, my whole life story. I played baseball from the age of 5 to 22. I played for, yeah, he can't dance. Okay, that's no, Lord, that's his mama's fault. Listen, I'm just kidding. When I got to college, You know, I didn't want to, I had a baseball scholarship, but I told my parents I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to school for baseball. I was just, after high school, I was done. But my dad was like, it's paying for school, do what you got to do. So I went my first couple of years, but I realized my heart wasn't there for baseball anymore, especially when we lost a game to Jackson State University 42-0. But we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll talk about this. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk about those football scores. So I went to class one day and one of my professors said, listen, if you're not waking up doing what you love to do every day and if it's paying you nothing, then why are you doing it? You're wasting time. Same message I give y'all. So I went back to work the next day. I worked at Outback Steakhouse in Montgomery. One of my buddies, one of my colleagues said, I bet you $10 you won't go to this dance audition. Mind you, I ain't had no rhythm at all. So I played Jackie Wilson, Baby Come On, so I played that song for the audition. I went in there and I made it. Fast forward, I did the whole dance program. I dropped my nursing because I was going to school for nursing, but I saw somebody cut their finger and I said, not for me. So I definitely went into theater and I did the dance program, and from there I got my very first off under the bridge off Broadway production. It was called Texas. In the show called Texas in Texas, where I wore cowboy boots and Wranglers all summer long, yeah. And then from there, it introduced me to this ballet company. Mind you, I knew none of this going to college because I was just there. But that's what introduced my life. It's crazy how life works out, how everything builds up to the final product. So I did a ballet company for a couple of years. I learned technique and everything. And then that's what opened my eyes to the whole theater dancing. So yeah, I love dancing. You can see I'm in my own world when I dance. Yeah, I be in my own element, so I don't really know how to know. I love you. From what's your question? Devin from New Jersey. Jersey. City. No. We talked about this. By Atlantic City. Perfect. And it's your birthday cruise. Ew. What's your question? Yeah, you can ask me a personal question. Yes. Oh, she was asking my last night when I said I was homeless for 3 days. I'll explain it. I'll try not to cry, y'all, because y'all know I'm a crybaby. So during the pandemic, myself and a couple other cruise directors, just keep up with the story because it's quite long, but I'll tell you. We were all in Scotland for a wedding. Carnival called for us to come home because right at that time we had closed the country because we didn't know what was going on. So everybody left the wedding, like they just got married, then the next day we literally had the reception, the day between, and then we had to fly home. I went to New York first to an apartment in Jersey. But in Jersey at the time, the police were in the streets every day, sending everybody, like you couldn't go to the bodega. So I said, let me go south to my mom and dad's house. So I went south to mom and dad's house, but all I was doing every day was just making TikToks, and I was just like, I gotta be productive. So this fabulous lady by the name of Jamie D, one of our older cruise directors, I just got off the phone with her today. She called for myself, Leon, and Schwartz to move to Texas to open up a Margaritaville. So we all packed up from our parents' house. We road trip from Kentucky to Atlanta to Alabama to Houston. We got there, we had a summer gig, but in the pandemic, it just seemed like it was so hard to stay above water. We were literally working, and the paycheck that we would get would go to straight bills or rent or whatever we could, but it was just something to do to just keep us afloat. We found that job ended once our lease was up at our house. We didn't have anything, nowhere to go. We were just like, what are we gonna do? Like, we couldn't go home only because all of our parents have health issues. There was no vaccine at the time, and we were just gonna fight through this together. So a buddy of ours at Margaritaville said, hey, listen, come to my house, stay as long as y'all need to get on your feet. So what I did was, once that gig was over, we went to his house. But where I worked at was an hour and a half away. So I worked at Carnival's in the other part of town. So I would have to drive an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back. But at that time, gas was expensive. So I'm like really just fighting just to stay above water. I got a phone call from a buddy of mine who said, hey, I submitted your name for a game show. If they called you, just let them know, let them see your personality. So I was like, yeah, whatever. So 3 days later, I think it was a Wednesday, the game show called to me. They said, hey, we want to set up an interview with you for this show. So I was like, cool. So I'm going on, and like in the midst of all of this happening, I was going to start another job, just working from home, working for the government to help people with their assistance for financial aid through the pandemic. So I would have had 2 jobs. so I wouldn't have to drive as much back and forth, just to get money coming in. It came to a point where I had nothing but $50 to my name, and I had to decide, do I take that $50 to eat, do I put gas in my car to get to work and try to eat, or whatever. The game show, I did the first interview, they said, great, you passed this round, we want to see what you're gonna wear for the show. The name of the show was Let's Make a Deal with Wayne Brady. So I took some money out of that little change I had. I went to my favorite store, the thrift store. Yes, ma'am. I go to the thrift store and I'm in there for hours, like what am I gonna wear? So at the time, it was December to be exact. I found a brown vest and some brown pants, and I ran to Party City and got these reindeer antlers. I was gonna be a reindeer. But I said, you know what if the show doesn't air during Christmas? I'm gonna look crazy. So I went to Walmart with my last couple of bucks. I bought some light bulbs and I screwed them in my head. I was a deer in headlights. Hello, think fast. So I did the second interview. They said, okay, great, you passed this one. We wanna film you on December 18th, and I'll never forget this. Because the same day they wanted to film was the same day I started that second job. So now I have to make a big boy decision. Do I take a chance to go on this show hoping I get picked and get called, or do I go to a guaranteed job? Mind you, in the midst of this, I had just lost my aunt and my uncle on my dad's side. I'll never forget this. I was driving home from Carnival, and I pulled over and I was boo-hoo crying. And I literally said, God, if you can get me through this, I promise to make your people laugh. And I remember the whole conversation. So I had to make a decision. Do I go to this job or do I go to this show? Something in my gut was saying, trust this process. I called that job and said I couldn't make it. I just told them I was sick, I can't do this, bye, quick. So the day of the show is showtime. They're doing a sound check because I'm playing from at home. They didn't have a real audience. They only had 10 people in the audience. So I'll tell you, the show starts, they're doing a sound check. The lady comes into my room and she says, hey, Cookie, or Jonathan, she says, Jonathan, if Wayne happens to pick you, elaborate on your Carnival career and your baseball career and so on and so on. I was like, yeah, girl, I got you, just talking. But mind you, everybody else is saying that we could hear each other in a room, but I was in a room by myself and I couldn't understand. So the show started, Wayne Brady comes out, he's doing this whole thing. So he comes out, he goes, welcome to our very first primetime episode of 2021. He goes out, he says, we're gonna kick it off with this lady in the audience. He picks his first lady. He picks her and he says, hello ma'am, welcome to the show. You can either take this piggy bank or what's behind curtain number one, whatever you don't take. He picked another lady in the audience. So lady number one, she picked curtain number one. It was a zonk, she got out of the game. So then he goes to lady number two, he says, hello ma'am, you can either take what's a piggy bank number, this piggy bank or curtain number two, whatever you don't take, we'll give to an at-home player, Jonathan. This man called my name on national television. I almost pooped my pants right there in front of everybody. So lady number two picked curtain number two. She won a barbecue grill set. It was like $4,000, $5,000. So he finally gets to me. He goes, hey Jonathan, and me in full cruise director mode. I'm like, hey cousin Wayne, how you doing? Just embarrassing my mom on national television. He says, hey cousin Jonathan. He said, listen, you can either take this piggy bank or you can take what's in this box. Me just being a risk taker, everybody kept skipping over this piggy bank, so I was like, I'll take the piggy bank. He said, well, let's see what's in this box. In the box was a all expense paid trip to New York City with a helicopter flight, a lobster dinner, and more. Mind you, I already got a place in Jersey, so I wasn't really worried about that. So then he says, let's see what's in this piggy bank. Mind y'all, I don't have much to my name, if anything at all. I'm just trying to stay above water. This man pulls up this tab out of this piggy bank. It was a 2, a 1, a comma, a 0, a 0, a 0. I won $21,000 on that. And I get emotional about it because I remember the conversation God and I had in that car that night. I remember the struggle that myself and my friends were going through. So I took that money and I started cash apping all my friends who were going through the same thing. I gave my parents half of it. It was just a really rough time for everybody. I don't care who tried to fake it till they make it. Like, the pandemic was the hardest time for everybody. And I don't care what people say. But I promised myself to just, we were dipping into our state. We were doing everything we could just to stay above water. But like I tell people all the time, like I don't know what y'all deal with personally or professionally. You might be struggling right now, but always understand he may not come when you want him, but he'll be there right on time every time. So just keep pushing every time. So, and that's why I tell people like, oh, why are you so happy all the time? Because I have to look back over my life, where I've been through, where I'm going, from where I used to be, where I'm at now. I ain't got nothing to complain about. That's why I tell folks all the time, like, yo, it's a war overseas. People are dying left and right. I was homeless. What do I have to complain about? When I have a job, I got health, and I'm living my best life here in 2022. So, push forward. So, yeah, that's my story. I ain't ashamed of it either. I was eating ramen noodles. We made it. I hear that. Hey, but what's your name? Where you from? What's your question? Kim from Florida? What's your question? Someone who wants to work on cruise ships? Like cruise staff or a cruise director? Oh, okay, you want to come to entertainment. What advice do I have? Don't do it. Listen, no, I'm just kidding. I always tell people this. For some small town kid from Montgomery, Alabama, where everything was so black and so white, that's all I had. This industry alone has opened not only my heart, but my mind to a lot of things around me. I always tell people, if you don't know what you do, mind you, I started at 28. I was just serving tables and working in a ballet company, but I wanted something different. This life alone has opened my heart up to everything around me, from traveling to meeting people from different countries. Like if I ever want to go to South Africa, I always got somewhere to stay. If I ever want to go to Bali, I have somewhere to stay. And you become a family, and this is what Carnival's built off of. It's just family right here. Even in the cruise directors, you know, y'all try to pin us against each other, but we are a small family within each other, and we rag on each other all the time. So when y'all be like, oh my God, I don't like that cruise director, I'll be like, girl, they said they don't like you out here, boo. But we so funny with it, like, so yeah, you become this tight-knit family, and it's just, it's an industry that I tell people, I used to use my platform as cruise director to be seen, and I'm famous, and I'm that, but now, after this pandemic, I use my platform to bring the world together, because I want people to understand that number one, they're loved, and number two, this is what we need in the world to heal this world. So I want people who can see somebody that look like me, sound like me, walk like me, talk like me, who gets along with everybody around me. I don't care if you black, white, Asian, Latino, whatever. I want everybody to see one person who gets with everybody. So yeah, do it. I strongly encourage you. It's the best part ever. Where's Gina? Gina! Where's she at? Gina! Come here, Gina, real quick when you get done selling that card. Let me teach you something, I'll show you something. No, Gina, finish selling her the card. Finish selling her the card. Come here. This my baby. Y'all make some noise to Gina. I don't know if y'all know Gina, but Gina comes to us all the way from Taiwan. Mind you, she's still in the phase of learning the American language and lingo. But she is so funny. She has like the most positive attitude ever. Gina, tell the people a joke right now.
Oh yeah? It is a patient's and nurse conversation, okay? And patients has said to the nurse, I just lost my friendship, and I lost my family, I lost my significant others, I lost my love, I lost everything, I lost my money. And the nurse just said to him and smiles to him, but you still got the illness.
Get off the stage, Gina. That makes the most of my baby, Gina. I love you. It's moments like that, right? She was terrified. She was one who was nervous about being in front of the guests because she doesn't speak the language strong, but she's the most positive person in the world, and she's just so loving. She could do no wrong. We're trying to find Gina a man. Gina says Gina, you still looking for a boyfriend? yeah. She's trying to get a green card. Listen, I tell you this. Do it. Hey, love, what's your name? Where you from? What's your question? Ooh, child. Let me tell you, I found your cousins. What's your question? What's your name? Chrissy, what's your question? Shoot. Yeah. A lot of us just sleep. Like honestly, like this is the people always say, "Oh, I want to work on ships." Not discouraging you, but this is different from land life. When you work on land, you get your weekends off, or you get 9 to 5. Here it is nonstop. So like today, mind you, I don't sleep well anyway because you know the ship be making too many noises. But so like today, I get up at 7:30. I started my day. I try to go outside, get some fresh air, meditate. Sea days are the longest. But in our downtime, a lot of us just sleep. Like next week is our 8-day cruise. So majority of us get off in Aruba. Aruba's a very late port. Back on board, I think it's at 9:30. So yeah, 8-day cruise is where it's at. Not saying y'all cruise wasn't good, I'm just saying. A lot of us we are able to get off when we port. I've been doing it for 8 years, so I've been to all of these ports. So I use my time to sleep. I only sleep because I know for the night I gotta go hard. I do this 7 days a week, no days off, 24/7. Like it takes a lot on our bodies. Like I tell people, I'm like, my body's exhausted all the time. So I'm telling you, so yeah. It's a lot, but we definitely make it through. But the ones who the real heroes are your cabin stewards, your bar staff, or restaurant team. Them babies that y'all always say, Cookie, ain't no Americans. You see why it ain't no Americans? Y'all would have quit this job years ago. Listen. So yeah, it's non-stop, 24/7. So yeah, this is why I tell y'all, when y'all get that survey at home, hit that number 10. I promise you, because it's worth it to them. They want to make sure y'all are taken care of. They want to, all of us do actually. Like I tell my team all the time, it's not about us. We can sleep later. Right now, I know in this room, somebody has worked years just for this 6-day cruise. Somebody has taken out a loan just for this 6-day cruise. Y'all are trying to escape what's going on out there. And that's our job, to make y'all feel like y'all don't have to worry about a thing at home. So let us do our part. I want y'all to go home feeling like you're refreshed and rejuvenated. We'll be all right. We'll sleep when we did. Until then, it's about y'all. They know that. My team knows I preach this to them every time. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I love you. Hi, love. What's your name? Where are you from? Thank you for my... I love you. Canada! Oh, Canada! Hey, I got some of those Canadian maple candies in my room. Why are they so addicted? I don't understand. What's your question? 2? Let's get it. First of all, thank you for my little thing. I put it on my little bad last night too. Thank you. Who gave me the name Cookie? So, my best friend, he's from England. His name is Sunny. And when we were on the ship in Alaska and Australia, we were inseparable. Every time you saw him, you saw me, and vice versa. So people started calling us Cookies and Cream. But Cream retired, so I'm just Cookie. So fast forward a couple of years after that, I went to the Carnival Magic to be with my big brother, the good Reverend Dr. E, and he was the one that made it official. He gave me the name tag that said Cookie. And he literally said, stick with this name, you're gonna do great things someday. But it literally happened right when the TV show Empire came out. So everybody was calling me Cookie Lions every time they see me cruise. Let's see if Sunny will answer. I don't know what time it is in the UK, about 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I tell him every week I'm gonna call him. I gotta screen him because he's British. He loves the Lord, but he cuss a lot. Let's see. He better answer because I told him 2 weeks ago I was gonna call him. He won't be doing nothing. You know, every time I see him, he at a bar somewhere partying his life away. He is a good time boy. Like he is literally, he don't care who you are, where you're from, he always. Sunny. Is your Boost mobile internet not working? It might be our internet. Let me stop playing for real. Oh, he didn't. It's not working. Oh well. You can find it. It's a picture of us, but yeah, he's the reason I got the name Cookie. So yeah, I know that for sure. Over here, boom, right here. Friends from New Jersey, I got my cousin. What's your question? I live in Jersey City. I got a place. So all of my roommates, we all found each other on ship life, which is really crazy because I met one roommate on the Breeze, and then I met another roommate on the Pride, but then they met each other on the Spirit, but then we all knew each other. So they moved up to the city first, and they were like, yo, you might as well take that lead. Because I'm not gonna lie, coming from Alabama, I was so afraid to move up north, but I didn't. I'm still trying to get over the fear of walking by myself at night to the subway and to the path, you know. They're crazy out there. Listen. The only thing we gotta worry about in Alabama is cockroaches. But I'm getting used to it. So I live right there off JFK by the path. 11-minute walk, get on the path to the World Trade Center in about 10 minutes. So yeah, love it up there. I don't go up there in the winter season though. I only go in the, I don't do that cold. That's foolishness. So yeah, nobody got time for that. What's that, Kentucky? Yeah, I ain't going there either. So, hold on, let me see it. Ohio? Hell no, absolutely not. Let me tell you, I used to live in Amarillo, Texas, and all that cold weather from Colorado used to come down to Amarillo. And I've never driven in snow before. Apparently you're not supposed to push the gas when it's icy. Learned that the hard way. So yeah, snow is not for me. Hey love, what's your name, where you from, what's your question? Angela from Maine!
Yeah.
Oh, how do y'all do it? I know, right? Do I get to play, do I have an influence on my replacement when I get ready to retire? Yes and no. The way it's supposed to happen, so I worked for Jamie, Matt, Mike, Schwartz, I pretty much work for everybody. My goal in this position now is to mold the future. The future of Carnival is Mel, your bingo host, who's going to be an amazing cruise director someday. Cornell, your comedy club host. Those two are my focus. Everyone else right now just wants to be low. Shannon, who used to be very shy, we're breaking her out of her shyness. She will be phenomenal as well. But Mel is one who said, I really want this. So my job in this contract is to say, okay, Mel, you're gonna do what I do, you're gonna follow my lead, and I'm gonna lead the way. I'll pass her along to someone else, and I'll keep pouring into her until she gets into the position. Same way kind of like me as well. So, squirrel. So, literally between Jamie, Mike, Everson, Matt, everybody just poured into me. When they all got their time to leave, now I had to step up. I'm not gonna lie to you, the night that they called me and said, you're gonna be a cruise director, I cried for an hour. I'm so emotional, I cried everything. I cried only because I knew it was now my time to step up for everything they've been training me for years. So yeah, Mel's a crybaby with it, and she cried everything too, so this is why we gotta stay separated from each other, so yeah. Hey sir, what's your name, where you from, what's your question? Oh, y'all just passing each other around till I get to the person that got the question, my bad. I'm sorry, friend. Hey, friend, what's your name, where you from, what's your question? Terrell? From, why you so angry, child? Look, New Yorkers. Brooklyn. I'm so sorry. What's your question? Mm-hmm. Yeah, dog, easy. Don't stop. I tell you, there are days as an entertainer we question why we do what we do. Sonny, I'm answering the question. Don't you go nowhere. There are days as in this industry, as you know, there are days you question why am I doing what I do, because you're not gigging, you're not booking, you're not doing this. But if you keep pushing forward, I promise you that all you need is one opportunity to open that door. Only literally one opportunity. I will tell you this, this social media game is something serious nowadays. This is how everybody's doing it. This is how everybody's getting around. I'll tell you a story. My friend, one of my good friends, he was Simba on the national tour of Lion King. That pandemic came. My brother had to go back to doing what he needed to do to provide for his family. So he went back to his job at FedEx. Mind you, all of us had to do what we had to survive. Broadway was down, he was just trying to do everything he can. After that, he pushed through that whole pandemic, providing for his family. He is now the lead Simba on New York's Broadway as a national tour. He never gave up on his dream. And I'm telling you, don't give up on yours. It can be days you hit rocks, it hit corners, you just like, man, what am I doing? There will be days you look at your bank account and be like, what am I doing? If you keep striving for it, you deserve it, because it's the only life you have. Don't let the naysayers and the people who project their fears on you tell you what not to do. They're going to say, oh, go get a real job, go do this. Your job is to try out your dreams. You understand me? There will always never, in my book, there's never a plan B, because that's already set me up for plan A not to work. There's always going to be a plan way, and we're going to make a plan way work. That's the only one. Not A, but way, because I'm going to make a way out of no way with whatever plan I got. So stick to it. I got you. It's tough. It's tough, but hang in there. Hey, Sonny, turn your camera on.
So it's odd, man. Like when you rang, I was like in a place where it's got like literally like no signal, and now I'm in a place where oh my god, hang on. Oh, we got one. We got it. There you are. Oh.
Mind you, this is not him putting on the show. This is him in real life. This is how he acts. Sonny, I was just telling they were asking how I got my name Cookie, and I was just telling about those times when we were on the Carnival Legend, and they used to call us Cookies and Cream, but you retired and you left me and went back to England, then Australia, and then back to England.
But you retained the Cookie name, and I sort of like picked up the Cream name over here. I think we're Cookies and Cream together, but I think a part of it's still Cookies and Cream, baby, anyway.
Yeah, we were pretty awesome. Remember that time we used to play beer pong and never invite the guests and just drink the beer?
Do you remember when you lent me your high heel stilettos?
Okay, it's time to go. Bye, Sonny, bye. I love you. I'll call you later. You about to embarrass me. And that's that. Okay. This is why I gotta screen him before I call him. He be, hey love, what's your name? Where you from? What's your name? Let me hear it. Maryland! What's your question? What kind of heels? Let me tell you, when I was a little bit lighter back then, let me tell you, I don't know if y'all know old school Carnival, but we used to have this game show called The Quest. Yeah, it ain't never coming back. But I used to dress up. We used to, as Fun Squad, this is how crazy we were. We used to create theme nights. So every night was a thing. We used to do like Playboy Bunny and all this other stuff. We used to do Cowboy Boots and Daisy. We used to have a theme night. So every theme night we would dress up. I think one night we did Playboy Bunny and I let him put it on my heels. But yeah. Oh God. Good question. She said, is it hard to maintain relationship or family life in this industry? I will say this, it is quite difficult, especially if you're long distance. A lot of people who, for example, some people find love on board during their contract. Like Mel, her partner, or he is in the cast, Errol, the Filipino-British guy. Shannon, right here, her husband is David. They got 2 kids together. She's working on 2 more during the contract. Her mom watches the children while she's at work. A lot of people come here to work to provide for their families, so their kids, you know, take care of their kids so they can get a good life. Gina's still looking for somebody. You can find Gina's profile on www.farmersmeat.com. It's very hard though, because in this life, we're constantly moving around. I myself, I don't even think about relationships, because this is my relationship. It's the only relationship that matters to me. I try to do a relationship and be a cruise director, and just that's 2 full-time jobs. I just can't handle it. So I'd rather just put my love life on hold for right now. Mine will come eventually. But I tell you, if you got anybody, I get family and friends discount for $7 a day. So everybody trying to be my cousin now. Yeah. So. Friends since day one, so you know you can get my discount anytime, cousin, for sure. Hello, sir. What's your name? Where you from? What's your question? I got you right up here.
Greg from Carnival, South Carolina.
Okay, Greg from South Carolina. What's your question?
Are you gonna try that high kick one more time for the road for us?
Sir, absolutely not, because I got dodgeball at 4 o'clock. You already trying to injure me before you leave. I will though. What's tonight's show? Oh, Celestial. I am not tonight. I got you a dodgeball today. I'm gonna try one time at dodgeball. So if I pull a muscle, I'm coming straight to your house in South Carolina. And you won't have to nurse me back to cruise director, I promise you. Hello, sir, what's your name? Where you from? What's your question?
All right. Francisco from Massachusetts.
Francisco from Manamanushis. I love it. I can't ever say that word. I can't ever get it out. What's your question?
I don't have a question. I just want to tell you that I traveled with you in the Mardi Gras one time. And every time you wake up in the morning, you used to tell everybody, see, nobody love you. Is somebody here to love you? Yeah, I want to tell you that was really nice. Me and my wife, we used to love every time you used to say that.
Look, gotta start right now. Look, I can't change it. I just started that, and you know, me being on the Mardi Gras, that was an accident. I wasn't even supposed to be your cruise director. Lee's voice went out, and I just happened to be there. Cried the night before they told me I had to go in. Kendall and myself were training under Lee because we were the only ones. We were gonna start taking over Excel class. Got there, Lee's voice went out. They said, "Cookie, you gotta go in." I said, "Huh?" And you know, on the Mardi Gras class, they have things that are different. Like they have Family Feud. They have all these other shows and stuff that we're incorporating here on the other ships. But I wasn't prepared. But I just, I did what I had to do, and I thank y'all. Thank you so much for that. I love you for that. So absolutely. Hey, Princess, what's your name? Where you from? What's your question? Zoe from Kentucky. Oh, that's a pretty name. What's your question? Something that's really weird to happen? You would ask that, wouldn't you? I'm gonna tell you, okay, you ready? I gotta turn it. How much time I got? Okay, I got 3 minutes. Less than that. This part's 1 minute. So I was on the Carnival Glory in 2019. And on that ship, we had a bros club from the captain on down. We used to play a lot of pranks on each other. And I'll tell you one prank so you can keep up the story. I have this black trunk that I keep all my clothes, my shoes, my garments, everything in this trunk. They called me and said, "Hey, Cookie, you need to come pick up your trunk from deck 0 or we're gonna offload it." But as a cruise director, we get super busy. So I was like, yeah, I'll go get it later. I was in my handover week with Donkey, I believe. I think Donkey again. Or was it Mike Pack? One of them. So a couple of days go by and I go downstairs to get the trunk and the trunk is not there. So I'm like, oh my God, where's this trunk? So I'm calling everybody, I call the captain, call everyone, so where's my trunk? They're like, Cookie, we offloaded the trunk because you didn't come pick it up. So mind you, I'm starting the cruise, my first cruise, the next day. All I got is 3 outfits, so I'm mixing and matching for 7 days, so guests don't catch on. On the last day of the cruise, they rolled my trunk into dinner with a bow on it and said, next time, pick up your trunk when we tell you to pick it up. Now that's just the pranks we play, so here's the real story. The story goes, and I tell the story all the time, we were pulling into Cozumel, Mexico. And you know how you can feel the thrusters some morning when you pull in, but this particular morning, I could really feel the ship go. So I was like, yo, we are really docking today. So I get a call from the hotel director, and he says, hey, Cookie, go to the bridge. We just hit another ship. I literally said, hey man, stop playing, it's too early. Click, I hung up in his face. The captain calls my room. He says, Jonathan, get to the bridge now. And when he called my government name, I knew it was business. So mind you, I put on all my clothes, I run up to the bridge. Mind you, we have a bros club, so we play jokes all the time, but this time they weren't joking. I walk in, I look to the right. Everybody's looking out the window in their uniform. We just ran into the Carnival legend. You can see the video on YouTube. It's where the water shifted us and it was sliced through our aft dining room. So the whole aft dining room collapsed. Crazy enough, a kid got yanked right before it sliced across his table. He was a little traumatized, and I would be too. But us being the pranksters that we are, me trying to lighten the mood, I look up and everybody go, ooh, somebody in trouble. Not the right time to say that. So the captain was like, Cookie, you gotta clear the ship, we gotta get the people off, we gotta figure out this thing. So in these situations, you have to think extremely fast. Like, your brain never stops. I'm like, what am I saying, what am I saying? So I was like, perfect, I got it. So I go on, I'm like, boom, doo, doo. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cozumel, Mexico. We just hit another ship, but y'all be back at 4:30, please. Thank you, bye. That was it. I left it at that. Captain's like, very nice. So he's like, let's go outside to see what's going on. Mind you, we've had 2 days at sea. We just pulled into Cozumel, so I'm thinking everybody's ready to get off, go to port, enjoy do their thing. No, sir. I go outside to the pier, and there's a long line down the pier. I'm like, what the hell is this line? People are literally lined up at the back of the ship at the hold, taking pictures like this, doing this. I mean, posted up. Like, it was a main attraction. I kid y'all not. The next week's cruise, people had shirts made from those photos that said, I'm cruising on the glory hole. And I promise you, it was the weirdest thing of life. And it was so crazy. Yeah, like I've never been in a situation. I've been in every situation possible in Carnival. No engine. I've had that happen on the Vista. I had a propeller break on the. Is it me? Am I the drama? I think it's me. Yeah, is it me? I think it's me. It's honestly me. But yeah, that was the craziest day. We were supposed to leave Cozumel at 5 o'clock that day. We didn't leave until 2 a.m. that morning. Unfortunately, we couldn't leave with a big old hole because it would have sucked people out the back. So we had to patch it up. We were in Cozumel all night long. It was crazy. It was an insane day. It'll be a cruise that I'll never forget. But yeah, that was one of the weirdest days of my life. So yeah, don't drive in heavy currents, I guess. I would say. Yeah. Last one, right here. Hello, love. What is your name? Where are you from? What's your question? Jessica from Canada. What's your question? Ooh, say that one more time. Y'all think 36 is young? Oh, is it? Man, I sneeze, my back go out. Listen, I'm gonna move, like I was telling the young lady earlier, I'm trying to decide, do I wanna move to Atlanta, Georgia, or to Los Angeles? This past summer, I lived in LA. I absolutely loved it. I just gotta figure out where to get the money to stay there. But I wanna move closer to Atlanta because it's almost similar to Hollywood, and I can be closer to my mom and dad, because as I get older, my parents are getting older, and I want to be close to my mom and dad, because I've given up 10 years of my life to be here, and I've missed out on weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, funerals. I've missed out on a lot of life being here in this industry alone, so I want to get back to my parents. I want to be close to them, because I know every time I get on vacation, my dad is so excited to see me. It just lights up his world. And my mom is too. They spoiled me the first 2 days, and then after that, they knocked on my door to take out the garbage the next Thursday.